Hi everyone, this is Josephine. I'm here to present my cultural immersion project. I am doing Hispanic culture, particularly from the Mexico country. I choose Mexico because most of the children who come to my center um, are from Mexico. This is the map of Mexico. In this presentation, first I would like to give a little bit detail about the history of the Mexican culture, the growth of Mexican population in US. This is the graph which shows the growth of Mexican population. This graph shows between 1980 and 2000, immigration was the principal driver of Latino population growth as the last Latino immigrant populations boomed from 4.2 million to 14.1 million. Since then, however, the primary source of this growth has been US births. Uh, Between 2000 and 2010, there were 9.6 million Latino births in the US, while the number of newly arrived immigrants was only 6.5 million. And then between 2010 and 2015, there were 5 million Latino births in US compared with with just 1.9 million newly arrived Latino immigrants. Now let me tell you how the culture, socioeconomic conditions and the environments affect the um, uh, education of the children. Um, we know generally the genetics, different culture and the social context are some of the causes for the developmental differences in children. Here with the Hispanic children also, let us see the student achievement gaps. The percentage of Hispanic age 25 and older with a high school diploma or um, more was 52.4% in the 2000 census compared to 85.5% for whites. In addition, the percentage of Hispanic with bachelor's degree or more was 10.4% compared to 27% of whites. According to the census data, approximately 80% of all English language learners in US are Hispanic. From the history and the data, it shows that students from poor family backgrounds tend to do poorly in school. They usually attend schools with inferior resources, lack of access to healthcare, and often live in families that can't advocate for them. The 2000 census reported the poverty rate for Hispanic was 22.6%. Because Hispanic tend to have larger families than other groups, the poverty rate for Hispanic children in 2004 was 28.6%. Parental involvement, summer learning program, and access to social services, including healthcare, are especially important to poor Hispanic children. Keeping all this in mind, due to the recent researches and implementing those strategies to meet the unique needs of Hispanic students, uh, many schools thought out in bringing up their needs using sensitive planning, cultural understanding, community outreach, parental involvement, and appropriate pedagogy. Hispanic students are experiencing academic success. Increased use and distribution of these models would assist a greater number of Hispanic students. The film I watched for this project is Coco. This movie was directed by Lee Unkrich and produced by the Walt Disney Pictures. I enjoyed watching this movie. This movie talks about the culture of Mexicans, that how they celebrate the Day of the Dead, and what is the theme behind it. In this story, it tells in a small Mexican town, Miguel, a young boy with dreams of becoming a musician like his idol Ernesto de la Cruz, despite his family's ban on music. When Miguel becomes trapped in the land of the dead, he teams up with the charming trickster Hector, and together they set out to find the real story behind his family's mysterious ban on music. This was fun watching this movie. This movie was suggested to me by one of my parent in my center. I greatly enjoyed this movie, and thank Mary for giving me guidance in watching this movie. The book that I read for this project is Reign of Gold. This book is written by Victor Villasenor. He actually lived in United States, but his parents were from Mexico. He grew up hearing the stories told by his grandparents. He enjoyed listening to their stories, so he wanted to know the truth behind the those stories. So he went back to Mexico to the land, the Reign of Gold, where his grand where his mom Lupe lived during her younger ages. He went there learning their culture, and wrote in the story the real culture of Mexico. It was fun reading this story. In this story, it talks mostly about Lupe, Victor Villasenor's mom, and his dad, Juan Salvador, how they moved from Mexico to United States uh, during the revolution that was happening at Mexico. They also the struggle they went through, and the families standing together during their struggle was all talked over there in this story. The Lupe and Juan met in United States at California after they moved back. The story tells how they fell in love, and they got married, and the basic culture of Mexico also. I enjoyed watching this, I enjoyed reading this book. Mm, I recommend anyone who wants to know the culture to read this book. These are some of the pictures that I got from the uh, book Reign of Gold. Next, let me talk to you about the cultural event that I attended for doing this project. This is event which was Friday night live, presented by the Santa Clara City Cultural Commission. This event uh, was primarily it was a free show by the city for the community. It explains the beauty of the Mexican culture. There was a free dance show. This dance show was by the Los Laurels group. This is a Mexican group of dances. They conduct dance classes also. It was really great enjoying this event. This was the first time me going to a different cultural program. I enjoyed the music and their um, performance. Arabi is the national dance of Mexico. It is best known as the Mexican hat dance in English. I enjoyed watching this event and their dance. Finally, for this project, I was able to interview one of my parent, Mary Sanchez, on November 15th. I also talked with many other parents to know their culture. That was because of my personal interest to know more about their culture, which will help me to do better in the classroom for their children. I did the interview with the help of the questions given for us. So let me just give you some details about her family. It was great talking to her and understanding their culture. Mary is the first generation born in United States. Mary Mary's parents moved to California from Mexico. Um, Mary's father came to United States when he was 16 years old and received his green card. Mom moved when she was 15 years old. They both met here at California and they got married. Mary is the second child of their family. She has one older brother and one younger brother. Both the brothers are out of California. So Mary is the one who takes care of her mom. Her dad is no more. So, talking about her child rearing and discipline in their family, she was telling me in olden days, spanking and whooping with belts was the method of disciplining the children in the family, but she didn't believe in that, and so she wanted to bring in their kids with a different method of disciplining. So she followed timeouts method or takeaway, maybe the one that they like. And she was also telling me that she was blessed raising her kids, as her kids didn't need much of any discipline. She has five children of her own. Then talking about the power structure in the family, she was telling, in olden days her family had the elderly person, that was her grandmother, had the decision making power and organizing any function and deciding on the food to be served, everything. Later, after her, the tradition slowly faded, and now it is like everyone get their equal opportunities, and everyone's voice is heard, everyone's ideas are accepted. Then talking about the concept of time, it was so funny when I heard Mary telling that Mexicans do not have any time concept. They do not value the time. She was telling if there is any party in the Mexican culture which will start at 3 p.m., people will be showing up only around 8 p.m. So that much they don't value the time. Then talking about this personal space, she was telling that there is no much personal space in Mexican culture. Everyone loves giving hugs and holding hands, dancing together, everything. They mostly their family get-togethers, and get-togethers will be holding hands and dancing, eating together, and having a lot of fun. And they greet their family members always by kissing the cheeks and hug. And talking about her favorite food, um, she was telling hamburgers, tamales, chili rellenos, potato salad, tacos, burritos were her favorite food. Then she was telling me little more details about her celebrations and the festivals that they used to have. They celebrate New Year Eve, New Year Day, um, three wise men's day, Ash Wednesday, Easter, 4th of July, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Since she's a Christian Catholic, she follows most of the Christian festivals. Let me tell you about two important things that was different from that I have heard in Mexican culture. She was telling on during New Year Eve, they set their tables. Dinner tables with five candles: white, green, red, yellow and blue. She was even explaining the white represents health, harmony between the family, green represents money, red represents love among each other, yellow represents health and blue represents happiness. They serve food on the table, and especially she was telling they keep 12 grapes for each family member on the table. At 11:30 p.m. they light the candles, they say their prayers, and at midnight they start eating. The first thing they eat is the grapes that is served on the table. The second different thing that I heard from her was the three wise man day. That day they leave kids shoes at the door the night before, and they get presents from the wise men. So this is being uh, followed on or celebrated on January 6th. So there was one other culture she was telling. On this day at the dinner there will be a big rasca de reyes bread served. In that bread one plastic baby will be baked inside, and whoever gets that plastic baby has to do tamales party on February 6th, which is the day of the calendar. So that was different. I haven't heard of that culture earlier, so it was good to know about that. And it was really good to know many of her cultures. This really helped me a lot understanding the Mexican culture. I greatly enjoyed doing this project and understand a lot about Hispanic culture. I appreciate for giving me this opportunity to learn about the culture, and this will help me to give more care and to understand the kids more in my center. And thank you everyone for watching this presentation. Thank you.